Welcome to Vuln Vibes. Today we're diving straight into a really critical Chrome update, version 136.
That's right. Just landed for Windows, Mac, and Linux, and, well, it warrants immediate attention, especially for security folks.
Absolutely. So what's the headline here? I see 8 fixes total, but one stands out.
Yeah, the big one is CVE 2025-4096. It's a high-severity heap buffer overflow, and significantly, it's in Chrome's HTML rendering engine.
Okay, rendering engine. So right away that sounds potentially quite bad. Break that down for us. Heap buffer overflow in the renderer. Why high severity?
Well, think about it. The rendering engine is what parses and displays web pages, right? It's constantly handling untrusted content from the internet.
Right, your primary attack surface for web browsing.
Exactly. So a heap buffer overflow there. It basically means an attacker could potentially craft a malicious web page that, when visited,
Could lead to arbitrary code execution.
precisely, ACE. That's the nightmare scenario. An attacker could potentially run their own code on the user's machine just by getting them to visit a specific page. That's a classic initial access vector.
Okay, yeah. That's about as direct a threat as you can get from a browser vulnerability. It bypasses a lot of other defenses if they can get code running directly.
And this vulnerability, CVE 2025-4096, was reported anonymously back in 2025.
And Google put a bounty on it.
They did, a $5,000 bounty, which, for this type of flaw signals they viewed it as quite serious and potentially exploitable.
Definitely underscores the impact. So
Yeah.
that's the main event. But there were other fixes too, right? Medium severity ones.
Correct. A couple in DevTools. CVE 2025-4050, which is an out-of-bounds memory access, and also CVE 2025-4051, insufficient data validation.
Okay, DevTools. So maybe less critical for the average user, but still relevant for, say, developers or potentially attackers targeting developer environments.
Yeah, exactly. Lower severity, yes, but not something to ignore entirely in an enterprise context. Think about potential footholds or info leakage on maybe less hardened developer machines. One was anonymous, the other reported by Daniel Fordendahl.
Got it. And there was a low severity one as well.
CVE 2025-4052. Also in DevTools, reported as an inappropriate implementation. That one came from Vanilla Web Dev.
So a mix of issues, but the clear priority is that rendering engine flaw.
Without a doubt.
Which brings us to the immediate action. For everyone listening, what's the takeaway?
Update now. Seriously, make sure your Chrome is on version 136 or later. You can check easily, just type chrome.settingsshelp into your address bar.
Right. Push those updates enterprise-wide. Check your personal machines. Don't delay on this one.
And it's worth noting, Google is intentionally being a bit vague on the full technical details of CVE 2025-4096 for now.
Standard practice. Right. Give people time to patch before handing attackers a detailed roadmap.
Exactly. They want a majority of users updated before releasing specifics. They also mention extra caution if flaws are in third-party libraries Chrome uses, which makes sense those can have wider impact.
So the key message for security professionals listening, that heap buffer overflow CVE 2025-4096 is the real deal. Potential for ACE via the rendering engine is critical.
Absolutely. It really highlights the ongoing need for vigilance around browser security. It's such a fundamental part of the modern attack surface.
It really is. We focus a lot on complex kill chains and, advanced threats, but sometimes it comes back to these core application vulnerabilities.
And patching. Good old-fashioned, timely patching remains absolutely vital.
So this Chrome update, it's a timely reminder, isn't it? The threat landscape keeps evolving. Proactive patching is non-negotiable.
Definitely. And the fact the main flaw was reported anonymously, it shows the value of external security research, the bug bounty ecosystem.
Yeah, finding these things before the bad guys do.
Yeah.
So as you're thinking about your own defenses, consider how something like this, a rendering engine exploit, fits into the attack vectors you typically plan for.
How would it bypass your current controls? What's your detection capability there?
We'd encourage you to maybe look deeper into browser-based vulnerabilities generally. There's a lot of ongoing work and mitigation techniques.
It's a constant cat and mouse game, this balance between disclosing vulnerability details to help defenders and, well, not tipping off attackers too early.
It really is something for everyone to think about. How do we best navigate that dynamic? Where's the right balance for effective security posture across the board?